Hey everybody, welcome back. I'm back again today, and I made a promise to someone that I would do a perfect day consultation, go through their diet, go through nutraceuticals, try to explain the situation. And what we're talking about today is we're talking about stage 4 inflammation. Okay, the medical system calls it cancer. What we call it is stage 4 inflammation. Now, why would we call it stage 4 inflammation and they call it cancer? Well, stage 4 inflammation, it sounds like something that a person could handle, that maybe they could put the fire out. Maybe they could bring the inflammation down, because that's all it is. You've got stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, stage 4 inflammation. And guess what? Inflammation, the first few letters are inflame. And that's what happens. First, we get inflamed on a psychological level, and then on a biological level. Whether you believe this or not, everybody that has any type of disease, which there are no diseases, they're just chronic symptoms, because we have not been taught about the messages from the body. Our body has been messaging us from the moment we're born. Actually, from the moment we enter and become a fetus in the womb, there's messages being given to the mother. And then when we're born, those messages are being given to us. And understand something, there's only one disease, and that's inflammation. But really, there's only one disease, and that's misinformation. Misinformation, not inflammation. And understand, if we all cared for each other, and if the medical system was actually a healthcare system, they would care. And understand, if it was a healthcare system, they would be talking about detoxification, they'd be talking about diet, but none of that matters to them, does it? Okay? And understand, I'm not putting them down. People will say the medical system is broken. It's not broken. It's doing exactly what it was built to do. It wasn't built to be a healthcare system. It was built to be an emergency care system. And understand this, the emergency care system, is something that we need in emergencies. But how come we're all emergencies? How come we all need 911 emergency care? Because we don't know how to create the perfect day. Because we believe it's selfish to look after ourselves. And that's the God's truth. Let me tell you something. Breast cancer is on the rise. And I'm going to tell you something. Usually if it's your right breast, it's your significant other or some significant other relationship. If it's your left breast, it could be a situation with your mother or a situation with your children. If you don't believe me, the biggest study that was ever done on this planet on cancer, you'll find that in my library at docofdetox.com. Go into my library, and it's the emotional chemistry of cancer, disease, and healing. And understand something. Let's get this, make it perfectly clear. Does anybody know why that we are so obese, why we are so overweight? And because people aren't overweight, they're overinflamed. The more toxic you become on an emotional level, a psychological level, the more biological inflammation you're going to have. And if that happens, you are either going to what? You're going to what? Well, you're going to mutate if you don't make fat cells. So guess what? Why do you think that 86% of the population is overweight? 40 to 6% of the population is obese? And understand something. They changed obesity to 40 pounds overweight. It used to be 10 pounds just to make everybody comfortable. And understand something. Let's get this perfectly clear. And this is for Brenda. She's on the line right now, so I hope she's listening. So the deal is, first of all, you're going to put it on fat cells and make fat cells to store inflammation, heavy metals, and chemical poisoning. And that chemical poisoning can happen on a psychological level. You being stressed out, dumping adrenaline, cortisol, and histamine. Brenda, if you could not talk for a few minutes, that'd be great. Okay? And then when we get started, you can, So understand, when you're stressed out, you're dumping histamine, adrenaline, and cortisol. Now that's very acidic. Now, do you all understand that cancer is a pH problem? That you are very acidic? That there's low oxygen? Do you also know that Dr. Otto Warburg received the Nobel Prize? Why did he receive the Nobel Prize? Well, he received the Nobel Prize for only one reason. because he discovered the cause of cancer. And that was because there's not enough oxygen in the cells. And understand there's always enough oxygen in the cells if the pH is right, but the pH isn't right when you're acidic. That means that you have too much acid in you, and that causes inflammation. And inflammation, we all know a fire eats up oxygen. So you got to put the fire out, don't you? You got to bring it down. So, we've got to take a fire truck there. We're going to go through Brenda's diet. We're going to go through some nutraceuticals. We'll talk about her situation and how it happened. Okay, and maybe this will help you. And that's why we do this, okay? We're not going to tell you where Brenda lives, who Brenda is, but the reality is if we don't start sharing stories, real stories with each other, how are we going to move forward? How are we going to not fall into these pitfalls? That's the big thing. So understand, let's get back to this. Fat cells are made because you're emotionally and physically toxic. Just get that. Okay? You're not overweight. You're overinflamed because you're overinfected on a physical and emotional level, because every time you get emotional, you either don't drink water or you don't drink the right things. You don't eat the right things. When's the last time you got upset and you made a salad? Well, you didn't do that, did you? You either starved yourself of everything or you went and ate things you shouldn't have and you suppressed it. And understand something. Every time that you cannot address an emotional problem, you suppress it. And whether Brenda wants to believe it or not, she suppressed emotions, and those emotions are now trapped in her tissues, and that's called issues in your tissues. So now we know that fat cells store inflammation, heavy metals, and acidity and toxicity. Now we know that scar tissue, okay, and scar tissue is mainly made, the worst scar tissue that gets made is surgery. So understand, if you ever have surgery, you're going to have more scar tissue than you can dream of. And then you're going to need Wolfe Non-Surgical when you heal, because if you don't, that beef jerky cuts off oxygen from what? Your cells. And we know what happens when that does. And the reality is that's like a block. So that doesn't allow energy to flow throughout the body, blood to flow throughout the body, lymph to flow throughout the body. And what's next? Well, guess what? Does anybody know that fibroids and tumors hold more concentrated heavy metals, chemicals, and inflammation than any other tissue in the human body? So you see how it gets worse, worse, and worse? And understand, anybody that has cancer has a fungal problem, has a parasite problem, and has a heavy metal problem. You can't have one without the other, and it's just one big parasite party. So some people say, well, cancer is a fungus. It got caused because of the fungus. Cancer got caused because of the parasite. Cancer got caused because of the bad bacteria. No, cancer got caused because your imagination wasn't yours and your thoughts weren't yours. And remember something, imagination creates thought, thought creates an emotion, emotion creates a frequency, and guess what? We already know this, it's science. Frequencies will turn cancer on and turn cancer off. So we know that your emotions and your thoughts are the strongest part. But what about the things you drink? What about the people you hang around with? What about the things you eat? So everything is based on frequency, and whatever the frequency is, you'll have a master frequency on a continual basis when you put all these different things together. Understand something. If Brenda truly believed that cancer was just inflammation, and that her smiling, connecting to her breath, and just loving and caring for herself 100%, and not using anybody like her daughter, her husband, or anybody else to fill up her heart, okay, and that she just said, I'm going to totally love myself, get rid of all chokeholds, get rid of all sinner syndrome, get rid of all failures, and I am a beautiful goddess, and I'm going to treat myself that way. I'm going to do Dr. Wolf's Braveheart online emotional intelligence course 3 times. It'll take me about 99 days. And then what I'm going to do, and that's in my library, by the way, everyone, I'm going to smile everywhere I go. I'm not going to tell anybody or have anybody responsible for making me smile. I'm going to fill up my own heart, okay? And I'm going to ask myself, what is my purpose for living? What is my passion? I'm going to find my purpose, and then I'm going to make sure that I have lots to live for, and I'm going to make lots of plans, and I'm going to do everything that I never did that I wanted to do. Well, you're not going to go anywhere. But the reality is that, don't get me wrong, but I've seen that the more you go to a medical doctor, and I'm not telling you not to go do whatever you want. But the more you go to a medical doctor, they don't create faith. They might create a little bit of hope, but I don't like hope. I hope I get better. I hope this goes away. You know, the reality is that you just got to really have faith in yourself and belief in that which we know, which is our source, our creator, and know that it takes a teamwork. Okay, that and yourself, and understand. And you've got to know this, that your family's very scared. Your family doesn't even know how to eat, doesn't even know how to think, doesn't know how to drink, doesn't know how to live well. And that's the truth. And anybody knows that. I mean, the majority of the population is not well. We know that. Guess what? Give me a break. 86 to 90%, depending on what state you go into, okay, has an autoimmune disease, okay, Okay, so that's the population. And we know that most of the population is overweight. And you could go into anybody's fridge and cupboard and watch when we go through Brenda. If Brenda's really honest, we're going to find out that, you know what? Nobody's ever sat her down and told her the steps on what to do. Hi, Brenda.
Hi, Doctor.
How are you?
I'm doing good.
Well, see, what did you just say, Brenda? You're doing what?
I'm doing good.
And guess what? Now what Brenda needs to say, and guess what? This is where I'm a pain in the butt to all my patients until they understand they got to no longer be a patient and go from a victim, they need to be a hero. So Dr. Wolfe, I'm doing amazing. I'm doing great, okay? I'm doing outstanding. So not good. Does everybody know what good is? Good means I'm just getting through the day. And that's exactly what it means if you want to look up what today's definition of that is, okay?
Okay.
So I just want to say this, Brenda, that everything is programming, and you better watch what you speak like, and you better watch what you think like. And this is why I tell everyone that if you want to heal, you got to change your personality. If you don't change your personality, you're never going to change the reality of the cancer. Okay?
Yes.
All right. So, Brenda, how old are you?
I'm 61.
How much do you weigh?
192.
Okay. You weigh 192. All right.
Yeah.
And how tall are you?
5'7".
So you're 5'7". So how much should you weigh?
Probably about a 150.
No. 140, 145 maximum.
Okay, that sounds good.
That does. You're 50 pounds of inflammation. Now, how can we have 50 pounds of infection and inflammation and not have mutation?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm not picking on you, so just know that, okay?
Okay.
So let's just go through. So when were you diagnosed with stage 4 inflammation?
About 4 years ago.
4 years ago. Okay, all right. So what did you do 4 years ago?
4 years ago, when I noticed a lump in my breast, I went and got a mammogram, and then it came back that I needed to get
Can I say something right now, and then we'll take the next step? From now on,
okay.
Do whatever you want, but if you were my daughter or you were my wife or you were my partner, I would tell you to go get thermography. I would never tell you to go get a mammogram where they're gonna smash your breast and where they're actually gonna make it more toxic, right? Isn't that what they do?
Yep, I agree.
Okay, so we know that mammograms actually can cause what? More inflammation, right?
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, so then what did you do?
So then they took the biopsy, and then it came back that I was positive for cancer. So they set me up.
Okay, so what does that mean, positive for cancer? Did they say stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, stage 4?
They didn't tell me.
Well, see, I don't like that. So the reality is this, it doesn't make a huge difference to me. Understand something. I am not a medical doctor. I'm not going to think like a medical doctor. I'm not going to talk like a medical doctor. I'm not going to tell you not to go to a medical doctor because everybody makes their own decisions. But the reality is this. I want to know what stage of inflammation it's in, right? Because the more inflammation, okay, the more you have terrorized yourself and the less you have actually bought into a healing and health program, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So anyways, they should have told you, and everybody out there, you want to say to them, well, what is it? Stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, stage 4. And then I would always go and get a second or third opinion. I would go get thermography as well. I would do that. Okay. And the reality is at this point, why did you go to the doctor? What were you feeling?
I was just feeling a lump.
Okay. Whoa, here's the part. Here's the part I really love. This is the part I love. And nobody can come after me for this. A lump, a bump. Guess what? Lumps and bumps are made out of scar tissue. Lumps and bumps are made out of calcium. Now, what if we could turn the scar tissue back into connective tissue? What if we could get the calcium to go back into the bones, like I always say? So how big was your lump?
It was probably about the size of a quarter.
Okay, now everyone, please. I'm allowed to say this. I did not say, I want nothing to do with curing cancer. Because I don't even like the word. Because I don't believe there's a cure for anything unless you're going to create a day that supports that healthy way. So the reality is that I believe the only cure is the person, if you really want to call a cure, and the cure is the person actually living a high vibrational lifestyle. Do you understand that, Brenda?
Yes, I do.
Do you understand that if you are eating clean and you are thinking clean? Now, thinking clean doesn't mean you think dirty. Thinking clean means that you're not going to talk down on yourself anymore. You're never going to judge people anymore. That's the big deal. No more judgment, just observing. Observing yourself, never judging yourself, and going, what can I change? How can I expand my mind? How can I fill up my heart? And how can I feed my spirit? And that really is what it comes down to. The whole thing is a game here. Okay? Mm-hmm. All right. So now I want to tell you this, and then you don't have to believe me, but I could do non-surgical on you. And if anybody out there has a fibroid as big as a quarter, and they want to give me a call, I'll be here tomorrow, and then I'm flying to Canada. And the reality is, if you have a fibroid as big as a quarter, you come and we'll do a live. I'll show you that I'll lovingly take that fibroid apart. I'll use the cell sonic before. If it's as big as a quarter, I'll do about 100 to 150 pulses with a cell sonic that it puts out 25,000 volts in a love harmonic. I'll work on it, and guess what? It'll fall apart. It'll fall apart. Then I'll go back in and do another 100 to 150 pulses. And then guess what? And then I would teach that person how to gently, lovingly clap under the arms and around the area. Use DMSO gel. Use frankincense on the area. And then how to think, drink, and eat high vibrational. Mm-hmm. Okay, so I saw the picture. And here's the deal. Now we're dealing with something about this big, right? Are you watching me or no?
I don't see.
So it's about as big as a large tangerine.
Yeah.
And it's an open wound.
Yes.
So now what we need to know, and is the open wound bleeding and pus coming out?
Yes.
I'm going to tell you something. Don't believe me. I'm just going to tell you what Chinese medicine says. That guess what? That it will open up because it needs to get rid of the pus, and it gets rid of the infected blood, and the pus is the dead cells. So the reality is it gets pretty messy, and it can be a real pain. Okay, but you know what? You got it at a better place. You know, Brenda, there will be women that will call me up, and their breasts will be twice the size. Their breasts will be 3 times the size. So that's a lot of inflammation, a lot of water retention, because you'll retain water when you're on fire because the body's trying to put the fire down, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So.
It doesn't like to be covered.
Pardon?
It does not like to be covered.
Well, it doesn't want to be covered because it needs to be open. And I'll tell you something. I'm only going to tell you what I would do if I had that situation. I would be having it uncovered as much as possible, and I would be spraying infinite iodine. Now, people, here's the deal. I will tell Brenda right now, Brenda, go somewhere else and buy your products because this is not a marketing ploy. Okay? Just go somewhere else if you want. But the reality is infinite iodine is the only non-toxic iodine on the planet. You could not keep spraying iodine or drinking iodine. You'd blow your thyroid out. But infinite iodine with women that have this situation, we will have them up to taking 1.5 ounces of our infinite iodine, drinking it a day. Minimum, if there's financial situation, minimum would be like a teaspoon 3 times a day or 1 tablespoon once a day. But we would want you, when it's open, to spray infinite iodine right on it on a continual basis. Now, here's the deal. I want you to look at this. Is it your left or right breast?
It's my right.
Okay, so I don't know what your relationship is like, but usually when it's the right, the dominant relationship in your life can be rocky. Okay? And if it's not the relationship you're in right now, have you been married before or what?
Yes, and the last marriage I had was very toxic, and I just figured this out, that I let the man come move into a little trailer park that I have, trying to help him out because he's on oxygen.
Wait a second. So he's still in your life?
He's not now, but he was.
Well, up until when, Brenda?
He wasn't in my life for 13 years, and then he called me.
Okay, no. I want some history here, because I want to prove to you and the rest of the world that's listening right now that this is all emotional.
Yeah.
Okay, so Brenda, how long were you married to this man?
About 10 years.
And when did you separate?
About 15, 16 years ago.
Okay, so when did he come back into your life?
A year and a half ago, he called because he divorced the other lady.
Okay, so that's okay. I don't want to have all the details.
Okay.
But the reality is how long ago did you get diagnosed?
About 4 years ago.
Okay, so then you had you do know if you were diagnosed 4 years ago. And how long ago did you break up with him?
About 15 years ago.
Oh my God, guys, are you ready for this? So just know that the tumor, that when it's the size of a quarter, is 10 years old. So 10 years, go ahead. So it's 10 years old. So
wow.
Are you getting this?
Yeah.
So we're only like 6 months to 8 months off of the exact measurement.
Wow.
Are you getting this? And then guess what? Now guess what? When he came into your life a year and a half ago, are you with me?
Yeah.
How big was the tumor on your breast?
On the outside, it was about a quarter.
Oh God, and you should see it now. It's 6 times the size, right?
Yeah.
So guess what? Go watch The Emotional Chemistry of Cancer, Disease, and Healing in my library, and you are going to see what you did. You brought him back into your life because you felt sorry for him, and we will never feel sorry for anyone. And what you did is you reactivated the cancer and you blew it up. And remember, the day that you said, should I help him or not? Your gut said don't, but your head said do it.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. God loves all the people on this planet, but understand something. You stay away from toxic people. You do not feel sorry for people, and you didn't feel sorry. You felt guilty because now you're with someone else. You're happier, right?
Yeah. Yes.
And you're going, I feel guilty. I'm happy and he's miserable. Okay. I'm going to tell you something. The day that I gave that stuff up, okay, was the day that I set myself free and had triple the energy. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So understand, no guilt here. But you need to understand how you did it so you don't do this again.
Okay.
All right, let's talk. So what are you doing right now for yourself?
I am taking the humic and the fulvic. I was using a Rife machine. And I was putting the black tar.
Okay, I just want to say something. If you're going to do the Rife machine, just know you're going to be there all day, all night. Why?
Yeah, I just gave it back today because...
Why are you going to be there all day and all night? Because guess what? Would you buy a car that was 75 years old?
No.
No, everything's changed here. There's, it's like this. Right now, 90% of all the diseases never existed 90 years ago, and 90% of all the food that people eat never existed 90 years ago. There's a clue here somewhere. And the reality is this, is that that's such an old technology, okay? And understand, the only thing I'm going to use, if you were to come to me, because here's the deal. Did you ever have a doctor say, don't increase the circulation in your body yet?
No.
Well, they usually do. And the reality, if you came to me, I would put you on a cardio med bed, and I would increase your circulation to full capacity, because the more we increase the circulation in the body, the more that we cripple the circulation in the tumor. You know, a long time ago, what they would do is they'd tell people, don't increase your circulation because you'll increase the cancer. That's a lie. And the other thing is I would use a Cellsonic. It's 25,000 volts. And believe it or not, people can believe it or not believe it, but on one treatment, it'll shut down stage 4 inflammation. Now, it doesn't shut it down forever because the person's personality has to change, correct?
Yes.
All right. And that person should have already done some detox, like the large intestine, the liver, the kidneys, and doing a proper detox, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's just talk about some general things here right now. So how much water do you drink a day?
I drink a lot of water.
Now, I need you to tell me how much, and don't exaggerate. Just tell me how much. You know what a lot of people tell me? They drink a lot of water. And then we get right down to the details. And what they do is they think about drinking a lot of water, or they carry their water around with them, but it doesn't get drank.
And I probably don't drink enough water, but I drink about 3 16-ounce glasses at least.
Well, 3 16-ounce glasses would be 48, right?
Yeah.
Okay, now I want everybody to understand something. That is enough water to keep a 90-pound person alive.
Wow.
Brenda, this is what I'm going to tell you is that even the natural health practitioners don't know what they're doing out there. You know, when I had my other clinic opened, and it was called the Wolfe Clinic, we were seeing about 12 new cancer patients, stage 4 inflammation, stage 3 inflammation patients a day. I closed it down because guess what? I don't want to be known as the cancer doctor. Okay, so I walked away from everything because it's insane and the world's insane. So the reality is here is that you don't drink hardly any water, okay? But compared to other people who drink no water, you drink a lot of water. Compared to other people that are totally poisoning themselves, you're only poisoning yourself slightly.
Okay.
You can't do that. You know what, Brenda? Think about all the times that you have compromised and put yourself second. Think about this. You still put yourself second in the new relationship, don't you?
Probably, yeah.
Oh, well, if you're going to say probably, I'm going to hang up. Now I'm going to say yes. Say yes or no.
I want to say first, but I don't know.
Well, you don't know. Good. There was a.
It's my nature to put myself last. I'm sorry. I'm just telling you the truth.
Well, no, but you just said it now. It was your nature to put yourself last. And I told you I'm going to hang up if you're going to lie. Because guess what? Your subconscious is going to want you to lie because this is the way you've always lived and you're not a liar. You have to understand your subconscious rules you. It's 90% of your brain. And if you have beliefs in your subconscious that disrespect you, dishonor you, you're going to do them anyway. If you have beliefs in you that you don't believe that you deserve to be healed, or you don't believe that you deserve to spend this money or to spend this time to work on yourself, you're going nowhere. So with the beliefs you have, what are the chances of you getting well when you just told me that you have a belief that you should be last?
I don't anymore. I want to be healed.
Oh, wait a minute. I don't believe that. You don't. One second. Brenda, 1 second. You have a belief that you no longer want to be last.
Yeah, I don't want to be.
You don't have a belief that you're first.
I want that belief.
I get it, but guess what? I'm here to correct you and understand, never judge you, never put you down, to let you understand that guess what? You picked up belief systems through when you were 0 to 7 with your parents. They got amplified through your relationships because you keep on picking the wrong people to be with.
Yeah.
Okay? Until you almost destroyed yourself because you believed that guess what? You didn't do enough. And that's why your relationships failed. Okay. All right. It's important we talk about this stuff because I will give you all the time in the world. But I need you to understand something. Even if we were to give you enough nutraceuticals, enough energy medicine, if you're going to use your old belief systems, you're going to go reactivate this cancer or stage 4 inflammation, whatever you want to call it. But remember, just call it stage 4 inflammation. And guess what? That's something we can handle. But cancer, guess what? It's a death sentence, right? Well, it's not. Okay, the death sentence is a belief system. And we're allowed to believe whatever we want. Remember, everybody, I'm not on here giving her a promise of a cure. I'm not on here saying anything except logic and reality. So anybody who doesn't like this, get off the platform because everything I'm saying is logical and honest and from my heart. And if we're not allowed to talk honestly and logically, what is left? Okay, now, honestly, so now we know that you do, 48 ounces, which is enough for a 90-pound person. Now we know that with your situation, you need 120 to 140 ounces a day. Did you hear me, Brenda?
Yeah, that's a lot of water. Okay.
Oh, well, guess what, Brenda? Why is it a lot of water? Because you've never drank water. Do you want to know something? I drank a gallon. It's today. It's 4 minutes to. And if anybody's been following me today, I've been on here quite a bit. And I've already had 2 meetings with my staff. I've answered probably about 20 phone calls today too as well. So the reality is I still had time to drink the water because water doesn't take a lot of time to drink because I drink it all day. So now what you need to do is get yourself a structure water unit. 1 second. 1 second. Don't mean to yell. Rami, could you come in? So Rami is our practitioner that works in Prosper, Texas, and this is her Cellsonic, and this is her clinic. Rami, can you get me a structure unit, and could you do? Okay, all right. So this is a structure unit, okay? This structure unit, I would want you to run your water through this maybe once, but then once we get you detoxifying, run it through 2 or 3 times. Now, well, I don't know. I'm going to need somebody maybe to grab me stuff. Well, maybe not. I won't show it. People can look it up. She can look it up. It's okay. All right. So anyways, so I wanted, so let me see here. What type of water do you drink?
Me?
Yeah.
I drink well water.
Okay. You drink well water. Okay. So do you structure all of it?
Yes.
Okay. I would probably structure it a couple of times. And everybody, I just want you to know that well water, don't trust it. Okay. I don't trust well water. It can be stagnant. It can be all kinds of problems. The well water is not, okay, fast moving rivers, water coming down a mountain, and it's not rainwater. Because those are the things that are structured. Well water is not structured. So anyways, be honest with me. Let's start this morning. Tell me what you did first thing when you got up.
I drank a cup of tea with honey. And I'm not very mobile because the more I walk, the more this thing shakes and bleeds and hurts. Yeah,
but wait a second. You're not mobile because you are how much? How much do you weigh?
192.
Don't blame it on that. Don't blame it on that.
I'm not blaming it.
I know, but I'm trying to tell you right now that you've got what? How much? 50 pounds overweight. So what I'm going to do is I want everyone to go today and get a knapsack and put 50 pounds of rocks in the knapsack. And I want you to put that on your back.
Yeah.
All right. So let's bring everything back to logic. Now, remember something, that 50 pounds extra that you're carrying around, you know what that is? That's water and infected tissue. So it's scar tissue, fat cells. You got me?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, does everybody know something? That when you're really stressed out, women, it's okay, Rami, I'll call you if I need you. Thank you, love. If you're really stressed out, okay, you don't have enough energy to get rid of the adrenaline and the cortisol. And if you're exhausted, okay, guess what happens? you know what happens? Your body says, oh, guess what? We've got 2 storage tanks up here. Because where does acidity get stored? Gets stored in fat cells. What are breasts made out of? Fat cells. So, Brenda, you have to start monitoring yourself and how often you get stressed out, how often you get pissed off, how often you get depressed, how often you have fear. Because every time you do, you're feeding this thing. So if you don't want to put a slight smile on your face, and I mean it, Brenda, you need to have a slight smile on your face from the moment you rise until you close your eyes. You need to put your shoulders back and you need to say, I got this. Okay?
I feel like I was doing that before this thing started growing so big. And then after it got so big, it just hurt to walk. Because right where it's located, my arm rubs it, my shirt rubs it.
You know, isn't it kind of funny though, you know? Where things will come and things will grow to annoy us because we just want to ignore it. How long did you ignore it?
I don't think I ever ignored it. I noticed it and I watched
I know,
it.
but okay, so when they said they were going to do chemo and they were wanted to do other things and you decided not to, what did you go and do? What did you go and do because you didn't do that?
I just kept thinking positive that my body's fine. They took it out and several. I mean, I did. Yeah, I talked to several.
Oh, wait a second. You didn't tell me that. They did surgery?
Yes, I'm sorry, Dr. Wolfe, but they did cut the breast cancer out.
Okay, first of all, they can call it breast cancer. I'm going to call it scar tissue. I'm going to call it displaced calcium. Okay, is that okay? And I'm just going to call it inflamed. And the reality, did you know that when they went and cut that quarter-sized fibroid out, that they caused more inflammation than was in there?
I know that now.
And did you know that when surgery causes more scar tissue than anything else? So when they were done, you needed to clap that breast. You needed to get non-surgical or some cell sonic done because you needed to remove the whole scar. I want everybody to understand something, that you can get surgery if you'd like. Do whatever you want. Get a whole bunch of surgeries. The reality is that every time that you have surgery, whether it's your breast, your ankle, your abdomen, your spine, after you heal, you have a big block of scar tissue and calcium there. And what does it do? It blocks off the oxygen, the blood supply to that area, and it just comes back. And if you never had abnormal tissue cells after every surgery, you will have abnormal tissue cells in that area. Now, do you want to know some real science, Brenda? I've got to tell you this so you understand this. When they did the surgery, they damaged the mitochondria, which is the powerhouse that makes the ATP. And I'm going to get to that in a second. But when they damage the mitochondria, you don't make the ATP anymore. And the ATP is what gives you energy for your cells and for you. But do you know what else it does? You have what's called a sodium-potassium pump in every cell. And the ATP is made. The sodium-potassium pump opens. When the ATP comes out of the cell and mixes with water, do you know what it does? Creates a brand new cell. So if we don't get the cells in the area to be repaired by repairing the mitochondria, we no longer are going to be making new cells for the area and allowing the other cells to die off. And if we don't have the cells that are old just die off. How many people know that 200 billion cells die off in an adult's body every day, and that's normal? But the reality is if they're damaged and they don't die off, they can become what? Cancerous. So now if they stay inflamed, they'll pull ions of calcium in, but then the mitochondria will get calcified, and then they don't spin 2,500 times per second, only 300 times per second, and now you're not making the ATP. So go ahead, everyone. You just think that surgery is going to be your, oh, I can't wait to get the surgery. I'll get rid of the pain. I'll get rid of this. I'll get rid of that. Guess what? Check with everyone. They may not have the pain afterwards, but they have stiffness, okay? Oh, and if they live long enough, they're going to have more than just stiffness in that area, because wherever you cut, you're creating adhesions. And in the brain, they're called lesions. In other parts of the body, in the breast, they're called lesions. And in the abdomen, they're called lesions, like with cesareans. So you have to, after the healing, get Wolfe Non-Surgical. I'm telling you, go ahead, try to get massage. It's not going to help. Chiropractic is not going to help. Shiatsu, acupuncture is not going to help. You got to go in and pull those fibers apart so that the blood supply can come back in. Like if you were close enough, Brenda, I would go and, or if you are close enough, where do you live?
I'm in California.
California. Well, we can talk about that later. But the reality is I would go see a Wolfe Non-Surgical therapist and get them to go in and right where the stomach valve is, which is your solar plexus, I'd get them to go in and decalcify that and open it up so that you can open up your solar plexus. I'd get them to open up your sternum, go in between the intercostal muscles and open up your ribs. Guess what? Would you like to breathe about another 40, 50% more, get more oxygen in? Would you like to feel more looser but toned in your chest area so that more blood supply? And then what I would do is get them to work underneath your armpit where the bra strap was, and then loosen up the scar tissue there. And we're going to loosen up all the scar tissue and get rid of the displaced calcium around the tumor. And we're going to increase the circulation because that'll increase the healing. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm just telling you all these things. You can do whatever you want. And understand something. I make no promises, but understand everything I do is logical. And we give a money-back guarantee on our first treatment with everyone that will blow your mind. Because understand something. There is no old age. There's just scar tissue and displaced calcium. There is no diseases, just symptoms of scar tissue and displaced calcium due to inflammation of the mind first and then the body. Because you know that. You've been stressed out forever and a day, Brenda. And as long as you have the stress. So is your husband with you right now?
He's my partner. We're not married.
It's okay. It's okay. He needs to become a Braveheart hero. He cannot be fearful. He needs to learn how to become from a victim to a hero. And he needs to become your practitioner. He needs to become the rock for you. And he needs to make sure that you don't fall into fear. Every time you fall into fear and worry, you're dumping adrenaline and cortisol and setting that thing on fire. And you're going to go like this. I'll tell you what. The next time you get really stressed out, Brenda, okay? The next morning, that thing's going to be as angry as hell. So just know that. So it won't happen right away. It's just like the person who loses it and they get angry and frustrated tonight. Tomorrow morning, they wake up exhausted. So the more that you exhaust yourself, so everything is frequency from what we drink, what we think, what we eat, and what we do. You get that?
Yeah.
So I'm going to tell you something right now. Tomorrow morning, Saturday, and I promise that at 10 o'clock, I'm going to do my exercises and show them length and strength and detox exercises at 10 o'clock in Texas here. Now, if you want to watch them, you better be doing them every day. Especially the pelvic and the crab stretch as much as you can, and be gentle with the crab stretch when you start. But understand something. Let's ask this question. So we talked about the water. What kind of tea do you have in the morning?
I just drink a black organic tea.
It's not good for you. You can't do that. And if you're going to make black organic tea and you're addicted to it, then you're going to have to put a pinch of black diamond in and make sure you structured the water. Okay, and how much honey do you put in?
Teaspoon.
A teaspoon. And that's first thing in the morning. That's the first thing you drink?
Just sometimes. Sometimes I just get up and drink water, or he'll make coffee, organic coffee.
Okay, you can't do that. The first thing you need to do, love, if you want to win the game here, okay? I'm not telling you can't have your organic coffee, but I'm going to tell you how you need to make it if you're addicted to it, okay?
I'm not addicted to it.
Well, let me tell you something. You're still drinking tea, which has got caffeine in it, and it's tea, and then with the honey first thing, and that doesn't do any good for you, right?
Right.
Okay, so you are addicted. All right.
No, I'm really not, though.
Okay, stop. Okay, let's just stop. We're addicted on a subconscious level. Did you ever notice that you say you're going to stop something and you notice that you just made the tea and you forgot you were going to quit?
And what?
Did you ever say, okay, I'm going to quit doing something, and then you noticed that you went and made the tea anyway, and you went, oh God, I forgot to quit?
No, it's because Thomas wakes up in the morning, he makes coffee, and I decide not to have coffee. I don't know why I do it. I shouldn't even have it. I don't really need it.
Okay, good. Now we got that settled. So anyways, here's the deal. So first thing in the morning, what you should be doing is drinking warm to hot water, and you should be structured, and you should have black diamond in it. Why? Well, because from 4 o'clock in the morning until 12 o'clock noon, that's when we're detoxifying. And you don't need anything. You need to detoxify. You know, you got 50 pounds overweight, and you are never going to get rid of this. And if we do get rid of it, it's because we did lots of non-surgical, you took lots of nutraceuticals, we spent lots of money, and you did Cell Sonic, and you spent lots of money and lots of money and lots of money. And then guess what? But you still got 50 pounds of extra infection and inflammation on your body. How much does your partner weigh?
About 198.
Okay, and how tall is he?
Same as me.
How tall is that?
5'6". He's shorter than me, I guess. I don't know. 5'6", 5'7".
Okay, so he's way overweight.
Yeah.
So understand something. What's your name, sir?
Thomas.
Thomas, if you do not want to lose weight,
No, I definitely do.
she is not, Thomas, we already know that she does everything and anything for her man.
Yes.
She almost died for one.
Yeah.
So Thomas, just know this. No, don't say anything. But she's not going to change. She's devoted to her men. If you don't lose the weight, she's not going to lose the weight. If you don't eat like she eats, she's going to eat like you eat.
Yeah, I stick to regimen, so I'll get on the diet.
But you're right, Dr. Wolf.
And I'll pull her through it. Yeah, we'll definitely
You're
see
right.
what.
And you're not going to pull her. You're not going to pull her through it. You're going to love her through it.
Yeah.
You're not going to pull anything. You're going to love her through it. You're going to love yourself, Thomas. She's going to love herself. You're going to shine the light on each other, and you're going to rock this thing. And you're going to quit making excuses for the addictions that the two of you have.
That's right.
And
It's gone.
how much do you drink, Thomas?
Water?
I want to know water, alcohol, anything else?
I don't drink any alcohol. I'm clean sober for about 15 years.
Okay, bud. Good for you. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Okay, so what did you have? So we know right now that I've told you right now she needs a gallon. She needs a gallon of liquid. So we can talk about it. But you know what? You guys, do you own a juicer?
Yeah, a couple of them.
Okay, but are they in the cupboard?
Now they are.
I actually just pulled them out. We just got all kinds of celery.
I know, but guess what, guys? Okay, she needs 16 ounces of celery a day. Okay, I want her to have 64 ounces of carrot juice. If she wants a little bit of apple in there, that's fine. And then the rest will be made up of her water and her black diamond. And I want her to put a pinch of black diamond into her carrot juice and into her celery juice. Do you know why? Do you know why?
No, why?
Because black diamond is humic fulvic, and it carries 70 micronutrients. It dumps into the cells. It also, guess what? If she takes black gold, I want her to do black gold at least 1 level teaspoon of black gold 3 times a day in a blender drink. And that can be berries, like organic frozen berries. And it could be blueberries or strawberries, but only pick one berry. And then she can mix that. She can mix that with oat milk or coconut milk or almond milk, organic. And then guess what? She's going to put in there, 1 second, frozen organic, I don't care, or fresh, doesn't matter. Then she's going to put berries, almond milk or coconut milk, almond or oat milk. Then she's going to put in there a level teaspoon to a rounded teaspoon of black gold. Why? Because the black gold's going to go in from her mouth to her rectum, pick up heavy metals, okay?
Yeah.
And it's going to get rid of her parasites, because anybody that has a disease, Okay, just know this, not anybody. 98% of the population has worms. Did you know that, Thomas?
Yeah.
98% of the population has worms. So we need to get rid of her worms. And and you can do exactly what she's doing, Thomas. And if you did it,
Exactly.
teamwork makes the dream work. And you know, like it says in the Bible, when two come together, yeah, that's what we want.
Yeah.
Now, here's the deal. So we're going to do a rounded teaspoon of black gold. And we're going to do that 3 times a day with a blender drink. So you can make the blender drink enough for the whole day and keep it in the fridge. Okay, and then just re-blend it a little bit. And then she's also going to do what I told you, 64 ounces of carrot juice. Could be a little bit of apple in there if she wants a little bit of flavor. Remember something, that fruit juice does not cause cancer or make it worse, okay? So the reality is it can throw your blood sugar off if you had too much fruit juice. And you never drink fruit juice on its own. Nobody should. And we give kids orange juice and it just blows their brains out. Okay, thank you very much, Mom and Dad. So it should be 25% orange juice to 75% structured water. Just know that. But we're so addicted to sugar. Now, so we'll get back on you guys. So that's, we want to do 2 or 3 blender drinks a day. I want her to have at least 3 rounded teaspoons of black gold. So she could split it up if she only does 2 blender drinks, 1.5 teaspoons twice a day. And then she's going to do the carrot juice. And she can also have 2 large salads a day. One salad could have like avocado in it. And the other salad could have like some black beans in it. But that's it. And you can put nice organic dressing. Okay, do not cheap out on your dressing because they'll poison you. So that's it. 2 salads, 2 blender drinks.
No tomato?
Tomato is a fruit, and of course you can have tomato, but you're not going to have cooked tomato. You have to have raw tomato. Okay? That's your diet. And then the rest is going to be your warm to hot structured water with black diamond in it. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Okay.
We got it, black diamond.
Okay, so you got your black gold, you got your black diamond. Now the other thing is this. Brenda, did you say you already had a consult with us?
Yes.
With who?
Who was it with?
Yeah.
It was with, first it was with a man, but he
It doesn't matter. Well, we don't need to get into the details. Okay.
I can't remember his name though, and then it was Sandy.
Well, Sandra.
Yeah.
Was it Sandra? Okay.
So 1 second. Sandra's still with us. So what I want you to do is you're going to get Sandra to give you the instructions how to do an ultimate coffee enema. Did you ever do them yet?
No.
Yes.
I have it.
Oh.
I just don't have
I know, but you're going to get the instructions from her because we've tightened things up. And you're going to do one twice a day. And then you're going to tell me, Dr. Wolfe, and you're going to do it in the bathtub in case you make a mistake the first couple times. The reality is, Brenda, you're full of poo. Okay. And you've backed up your liver. And your liver's inflamed and infected. Do you think if we got the cork out of your bum, and we got all of that old fecal waste out of there, and the worms, the bad bacteria, and the fungus, do you think that might help?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you think if we actually did an ultimate coffee enema and we started purging your liver, because guess what? You can't take herbs and clean your liver. The only way you can clean your liver is with an ultimate coffee enema. And why do we do an ultimate one and not just use coffee? Because guess what? Everybody's got leaky gut, which is actually leaky large intestine. So when we dump the poisons from your liver into your large intestine, we need to have black gold mixed in with the coffee, and we need tummy love going in because it sucks up all the heavy metals, sucks up the parasites, sucks up the chemicals, so you don't reabsorb it back into your bloodstream and blow up your tumor. Are you with me?
Yeah.
Now you can go back.
We don't have tummy love. We have everything but tummy love.
Yeah, but I know, but you can call me tomorrow if you want, and we can get more serious about what you need to do and what you need to order. And here's the deal. Your timing's good because we only run this sale 3 times a year. So we have a sale on right now. Okay?
Okay.
All right.
I saw that.
Okay, so now here's the deal. I mean this. If you don't want to do this, Brenda, then guess what? It's not going to work. Okay? Unless you want to change, Brenda, unless you want to change your personality and you go, guess what? The only thing I need to apologize today is to my body, to 70 trillion cells and 700 trillion bacteria that I have disrespected to honor the men and the children in my life, but not my body. Do you understand me, Brenda? You have never respected your body.
Yeah, it's pretty deep. Yeah.
Well, but I'm right. So there you go. And I'm not trying to be smarty, but there you go. Remember something. I want to be the guy that says, hey, Brenda, wake up. You were brainwashed not to love yourself. And that's why you're killing yourself. Hey, if you don't love yourself, what would you be doing, Brenda?
If I didn't love myself, I probably wouldn't be taking care of myself.
Well, you're not taking care of yourself, Brenda.
I know. I wouldn't be eating right.
You're not doing it, Brenda.
I know.
And that's because, Brenda, guess what? You don't love yourself and you're counting on your partner to fill up your heart along with your children and everybody else. Well, it's not their job. You're going to end up being hurt on an emotional level and it's going to end up being a physical level, which it is.
Yeah.
Okay. So now, what else did you, so we want to do first thing in the morning, a liter or a quart of a warm to hot water with black diamond in it. Okay. And you know what I want from you, Brenda? I want you to just do that. You can also do ionic calcium therapy. It's called Merigen. If you go into my library and watch Cancer Part 1 and 2 with Merigen, it's ionic calcium therapy, you're going to find out it's one of the most powerful things. They said it could never be invented. These are actually ions of calcium. And if you know what they do, they're the most powerful thing in a situation like yours. I don't want to make a bunch of statements on here. Go into my library and you'll find out. Now.
And that goes in the hot water?
No, love. Go watch the videos.
Okay.
Well, you know what we're going to do? You're going to go and check out my information. You're going to take the whole weekend. I'm going to take as much time with you as that you want. And you're going to find out where I lied. And you're going to make sure that I'm right. You're going to have to feel really confident about this or you don't do it. You are not going to do anything I'm asking because you're fearful. You're going to be doing everything I asked you because you become faithful to the information because it sounds logical and you deserve it.
Yes.
You're not going to jump into anything because we're doing this. Because understand something. Everybody, look at the best person in the world could be telling you things and not know what the heck they're talking about. Okay, so now I want you to look at that. I'm going to tell you a few things. Write them down. I'm going to need you to go and research it. You're going to need to look at MCT C60 coconut oil. Do you know why? It's the strongest antioxidant on the planet. It's 250 to 300 times stronger than vitamin C. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Guess what else it does? It can override brain damage. It can override nervous system damage. It will go into your body. Remember, I just told you it's the highest vibrational molecule on the planet. What do you think that can do when it's all about frequency? It's all about light. It's all about energy. It's all about creating new tissue, right? Everything is about frequency. Remember something. We're going to stop trying to poison the body to get it well. Do you understand?
Yes.
That whole theory about going to poison the body or kill stuff is not my theory, but go ahead. If you believe it, do it. Okay? Okay, so now let's go through this. So look at the MCTOL C60. You need to look at infinite iodine. Now, okay. Now let me ask you a question, Brenda. You're going to look at the infinite iodine, and then I'll tell you how much you should take. We can go through that later. You're also going to spray the infinite iodine on. You're also going to do what? You're also going to get a big jar of silver bullet gel. And you're also going to put silver bullet gel on the ulceration because it's not going to close it up. But silver bullet gel is the world's most powerful antibiotic. Do you understand that? So it's a disinfectant.
Should
Okay?
it go on the top of it?
Oh, you'll put it right on it.
Oh,
Now, remember, it helps to neutralize bad things, right? And it helps to heal tissue. Now, the next thing I'm going to tell you, let me see here. Do you have a nebulizer?
no, I don't.
Okay, well, if you can buy a nebulizer, you can buy one that you can plug in, or you can buy just a portable one. But if you buy a nebulizer, what you're going to do is you're going to take infinite iodine, 1 part infinite iodine, 3 parts structured distilled water. You're going to put that into the nebulizer, and guess what? This is your new addiction. You're going to pretend that you're addicted to vaping, and you're going to nebulize the infinite iodine. You're also going to nebulize what we call fulvic bright eyes nano drops. Why? Because we have the only fulvic in the world you can put in your eyes. Did you know that? Because yeah, well, you should see what it does for your eyes. Put it in your eyes and you'll see the burning goes away. What do you do for a living, Brenda?
I have a small mobile home park.
And so are you on a computer much?
No.
Okay, good. All right, next thing. Where was I? Yeah, nebulizing. So you're also the Merigen that you're going to take orally, that you're going to go watch the 2 videos, part 1 and 2, cancer, in the library. You're also going to nebulize the ionic calcium, okay? And remember, the infinite iodine is going to go in your brain, in your blood, and it's also going to go in your lungs. Now, how do you think that might affect the tumor?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Okay, so the next thing, let me see. I'd like to get you on Sononian minerals. This is 150 nutrients in this, and I call it my multi, but I'd like you to do at least 2 twice a day. I'd like you to also get curcumin cayenne 5000. Do you know what curcumin is? There's turmeric, and then curcumin is 20 times stronger than turmeric, and then we add African cayenne, 6% to it. 1 second, please. So we do that to bring it up 50 times strength, and I want you to do a curcumin cayenne capsule 1 every hour. And if you can't handle it, you're going to do 1 every other hour. Because if I can reduce the inflammation and the infection, what would that do for the situation?
For how long?
I don't know. That's why we're going to talk. That's why we're going to team up. We're going to team up on this thing, right? I don't know, Brenda. How long are you going to make your partner first and foremost before yourself? How long are you going to eat and drink things to please your family? How long are you going to do that, Brenda? And I always use a little bit of sarcasm to try to crack the coconut. Not because I'm trying to down you. I'm trying to make you understand that you've never been first. How many times, Brenda, in the last 4 years, have you eaten, drank, or done something that you knew was not going to be good for you?
A lot.
Okay, that's all. So the reality is this. I'm not after Brenda the beautiful. I'm after Brenda with the belief systems that aren't hers, but are undermining her beautiful spirit. That's it. So I want to make that perfectly clear. You couldn't piss me off. You couldn't make me upset. So you can tell me anything. You can say, Daryl, I smoked 5 joints last night and had a cigarette, and then we're going to try to find out why. It's not about Brenda's bad. Brenda's not bad. Brenda's beautiful. Let's find out why Brenda punishes herself. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Okay, so I went over the diet part. What I want you to do, Brenda, is text me your, text me your email. I'm going to send you the perfect day guide. Okay? The new one. We've just written a brand new one. And I'm going to send that to you. And I will send that to you by, I don't know if I can. Yeah, I can. And you know what? We're just about finished it. But I want you to go in there. And I want you to take a look at the Ultimate Coffee Enema. I want you to look at vaginal infusions. Brenda, did you know, Brenda, that your vagina is directly connected to your breasts?
No.
Did you know that, Brenda, when we do the vaginal infusion with silver bullet, frankincense, fulvic and a little bit of C60 and a little bit of black diamond, and we make a mixture and we insert that into the vagina, that the absorption is 1,000% greater than taking any nutraceuticals in your mouth. Did you know that it's a direct link, that we have had women that have just done vaginal infusions, and I would want you to do the vaginal infusion twice a day. Would you like to have, and I'm not trying to be gross here, but some people will take it that way. Would you like to have a vagina that has the same tone, circulation, and texture as when you were a teenager or in your 20s? Well, guess what? That's what's coming for you. We have what's called a vaginal infusion thing, and I'm telling you, it will take, and whether you believe it or not, women, when they do this, their cysts go away, their fibroids go away, the dryness goes away, okay, the burning goes away, okay, the endometriosis goes away, the bladder infections go away, and the low back pain goes away, the hip problems go away. But not just that, we have them doing it. And you know what? We'll just call it a coincidence that we see that breast situations and even tumor situations in the brain seem to go away quicker, okay? So understand, you know, if you want different, I'm definitely different. If you want to work with me, you can do that. Or if you just want to work with Sandra, because she's your guide, your coach, she's still with us. But the reality is you can work with her and work with me, and let's team up and let's see if we can create a miracle, right? Wouldn't that be cool? Huh?
Yes.
So just know, everybody, that Brenda's been very patient. I was supposed to do her 2 days ago. And but was it worth the wait, Brenda?
Yes, it was worth the wait.
Okay, and understand that I will never, ever, ever shortchange anyone. But the problem is that right now we have about, like I told you, 65 stage 3 and 4 inflammatory patients, 65 of them right now. So, and the reality is the world's blowing up because of the COVID thing for 3 years. All the side effects are coming: the depression, the autoimmune diseases, the diabetes, the heart disease, because everybody's heart's been broken. Okay. The cancers because of the anger and the hate of what's going on in the world, or for themselves because they can't do what they wanted to do. So the reality is everything is emotional. So Thomas,
Yes.
you be her guard, you be her protector, you be her hero. You do not allow her to get stressful anymore. You tell her to connect to the Lionheart breath, put a slight smile on. You do not worry about money. If you don't want to spend it, don't spend it, but don't worry about it. Do not worry about where the world is going. Do not worry about the government. Do not worry about anything outside the lives of the two of you and filling up your hearts and having a beautiful life together. Do you understand? Mind your own business. Thomas, I need you to be a guard dog, because guess what? Brenda's a sweetie, but she needs you to protect her.
I will, sir.
Okay, thank you. God bless.
Can I ask you one thing, Dr. Wolfe?
No, you can ask. It's your turn now, Thomas.
Is there a name for this? Because, you know.
He wants to know what this thing on here is called.
What would they call it? What would you call it?
What would I call it? I would call it an ulceration of love.
Yeah? Ulcer of love?
Yes, I would, because that's the way it is, because Brenda's never felt that she's enough.
Yeah.
Okay? And you know that, Thomas. You know that.
She's an amazing woman.
I know that. I know that. I know that. I know that. I really do, and I'm not just saying it. But guess what? She may never, ever be enough, and you need to lay the law down with her and call her your goddess. And, you know, sometimes maybe you might even want to bow to her. And you know what? Because we need her to raise herself up. Okay?
Yes, we got this, Dr. Wolfe. With your help, thank you.
God bless. And I will send, I need you to send me the email, Brenda.
I will right now.
Thank you, sweetheart.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Wolfe.
Bye, guys. Now you can drive the rest of the way home.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for joining me. Okay. So here's what I'd like to say to you. You are beautiful. You are amazing. And that which created the universe does not love you. It's way beyond love. That which created the universe will never judge you. They made stories up. You are not guilty. Remove the chokehold, okay? I know it's really difficult, but go into my library and look at the 12 loving steps. Look at this. 3, 2, 1, I got this. 3, 2, 1, I approve of myself. 3, 2, 1, I love myself. 3, 2, 1, I'm going to stay in the present moment. 3, 2, 1, there's a new sheriff, and that would be you, okay? Go in and take a look at my 12 loving steps and do the couples connection. If you're not married, you can do the mirror work where you hold on to the mirror and you say the Braveheart oath. And every time you say it with more heart. You know, today and every day, I will love, honor, respect, protect myself first and foremost before anyone else or anything else. So help me God. You protect yourself. And look we've all been raised that we're selfish if we love and care for ourselves. We've all been raised that we're supposed to get our love from someone else. I will never, ever, ever depend on my partner to fill up my heart. I would not do that to her. I want her to fill up her heart. I will fill up my heart. We will come together as two spirit beings. We will shine our light on each other and we will never be sick. Because if you're sick, you've got sick beliefs. They're not yours. That's the only thing. There's no genetic diseases. They did a major study on cancer. It was called the Genome Project. And did you ever get told about it? No, because it was a failure. There are no cancers that are genetic. It's epigenetic. And don't let them lie, cry, and justify to you because it's not true. Okay? You are not a bad person. You are a beautiful spirit. And when we come down here to this life-threatening, fun-filled adventure, okay, they put us into survival mode and they make us feel less than we are. And that ends today. God bless. Thank you for joining me.